Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Happy Hour. Today, we're going cask strength and we're going sherry bomb. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Happy Hour. It's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks, maybe a month since I've done a video. The whole life and responsibilities getting in the way of drinking. What the hell's up with that? Anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to be doing some more whiskey, drinking some more whiskey, and today, reviewing and comparing some more whiskeys. So I had this thought looking at my little collection behind me. I noticed that there was like 5 or 6 or 7 bottles that kind of jumped out at me that all happened to be sherry bomb, batch strength whiskeys. I tend to like the style. I like all styles, as I've said many, many times. But there's definitely a place in my heart for heavily sherried whiskeys. And if you can get them batch strength at the same time, combine those two amazing things, you usually have a winner. I haven't found one that I definitely don't like yet. So anyways, I thought we would kind of do some comparisons between a few newer batch strength whiskeys that I haven't tried, that I've just gotten recently. And I figured we could use maybe Aberlour A'Bunadh as kind of the control, or the bench. I don't know, benchmark's the right word, but the control. I say control mainly because I feel like most of us out there, once we've kind of gotten into whiskey, and if we really enjoy the kind of heavily sherried cask strength stuff, this bottle, this name gets mentioned every single time. If you go through Reddit or anywhere and, look up what's the best cask strength, what's a heavily sherried cask strength, Aberlour A'Bunadh. It's going to probably be the first one off of most people's tongues. I think it's readily available too, and it's reasonably priced. I think it's about $90, $80. Most of these that I looked at were all kind of in that $100, sub $100 range. I think that's kind of fair. Most of them are also non-age statements, and most of them are, again, sherry bomb cask strengths. So yeah, I figured the Aballour. Now this particular Aballour, this is the one that Aballour, however you want to pronounce it. I'm sure there's a correct way, and I said it both ways, so one of them's correct. This particular one is batch 067. I know there's quite a few different batches out there. This, to be honest with you, is the only one I've ever had. I've had 3 bottles of it. Yeah, this is my 3rd bottle, and they've all been 067. So for whatever it's worth, whether that's a good or a bad one, I really enjoy it. It's one that's easily available around me and hopefully around you. So we'll kind of use that as the control. But I've got this Tamdhu. So this is Tamdhu batch strength, hence the name of the video. And this is batch 4. I didn't realize this was batch 4. I just bought this maybe a month ago. And for some reason, I'd seen a few reviews and batch 5 was out. And I happened to get batch 4. I really didn't even realize it was batch 4 because you can barely read the writing on here. I saw it on the box just before I started making the video. So I don't know what that means. And I say I don't know what that means because I've never had a Tamdhu before this one. So this is the only one that I have any reference for. I have heard, I think some people anecdotally had said batch 4 may have been a bit of a miss. So if that's the case, sucks for me. But anyways, that's what I got. And that's what we're going to give a go. So Speyside single malt, batch strength, 57.8, I believe. 57.8. The Aballour is close to the same, might be a hair more. It's like 59.8. So yeah, they're both basically, call them 60%, 60%ers. All right, let's jump right into the nose. So yeah, like I said, I've never had a Tamdhu in my entire life. It's funny, I like it. It's an interesting looking bottle. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but I've seen the brand around for years. And I remember years ago seeing it out of the corner of my eye. For some reason, I thought it was an Indian whiskey. That sounds kind of stupid, but I think maybe it was somewhat to do with the shape of the bottle. It kind of reminds me of like Moroccan glass or something. And then the name Tamdhu just didn't ring Scottish to me at first, which is weird because like Cardew is Scottish and I get the whole DHU Scottish thing. But yeah, it was like Tamdhu in the back of my brain. It was like Tamdhu in the shape of the bottle. I was thinking like Moroccan or some Indian whiskey or something. I know that Indian and Morocco are 2 very, very different places. One's in Africa and one's in, but I didn't think it was Scotch. But anyways, me, idiot anecdote aside, it's a single malt Scotch whiskey. All right, so on the nose, so you can see I haven't had that much. I have had a couple just to at least try it, but it's been, I think I tried it the first day I got it, so it's been a month. So this is the first nose in quite a while. It's very new to me. You know what jumps out right away? Okay, so I don't want to belabor it smells like sherry and it's, Christmas cake and all that, because I feel like if you get a sherry bomb, batch strength sherry bomb single malt whiskey, that whole Christmas cake and kind of, the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the stewed fruits, I feel like that's almost a given. So I'm kind of trying to find some of the differences or the maybe the flavors and the notes that kind of linger around the edges of that core. And the interesting, I get like a floral note on this right away, like a lighter floral. It's like like a floral note. Like it kind of reminds me a little bit like Deanston, which sounds weird. Like I'm getting actually some of the kind of the fruitier, the lighter bourbon, straight bourbon aged whiskey, ex-bourbon barrel aged single malts. And this is completely aged in Aberlour the entire time, however many years it is. Again, it's not an age statement, but yeah, I'm getting some of the bourbon notes, bourbon barrel notes. Yeah, a little floral, a little bit of barley, a little bit of orange peel. I get orange peel a lot from the sherried stuff as well. This smells really interesting. Just on the nose, I want to try the other Tamdhus now. So I think they have a 12 and a 15. It's not, I had to buy this from overseas. I don't think I've seen a bottle of Tamdhu in the store in years. I haven't been searching for it, but I generally go relatively frequently and kind of scour the aisles, at least see something new. And I haven't seen a Tamdhu, any of them, 12, 15 or this. But yeah, this makes me interested in seeing what the other whiskeys are. So the interesting part that I think about, one of the interesting things, or another interesting thing I find in cask strength or batch strength single malts is it's kind of like the distillery's whole hog. It's like the distillery note, I think, can come through hopefully a little bit, because they're all going to be, heavily sherried. They're all going to be strong as heck. So there's kind of like, there's a default layer that they're all going to generally have. Obviously, Oloroso, or there's going to be different types of sherries at their first fills, whatever. But there's the sherry note that's going to be there, that batch strength sherry note. But then there's going to be the other notes that come through that usually are kind of distinctive of that distillery. So I'm kind of hunting for those. Yeah, and I'm getting this floral, this really interesting sweet floral note, and again, a little bit of barley. So that's cool. I'm going to give it a taste. Actually, before I give it a taste, let me smell the Aballour just to give a contrast. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's totally different. So right after this smells like bourbon. This smells like bourbon. Now I know that there's a little bit of oak coming through in the Tamdhu as well. Here I'm getting a ton of oak. I'm getting the super sweet bourbony notes. That's really fascinating. That always had those kind of bourbony notes to me a little bit, but on the back of this, it just shows, I think, how much more. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is much more nuanced. This has a lot more subtleties going on. All right, let's sip it. So that's my first sip of the day on almost 60%. And that is very, very smooth, very, very easy drinking. That doesn't drink like 60% or 57.8. It's very easy on the palate. Wow, sweet. It's really delicious. I'm actually tasting a little bit of the sweet floral notes as well. Obviously, we get some of that orange peel, that orange zest, orange rind. Getting a little bit of caramel, that sweet caramel. That is really nice. I'm surprised at how well balanced it is. I say well balanced. I'm actually tasting some of the sweeter, lighter fruits that I get from strictly like bourbon aged or ex-bourbon barrel aged single malts. I'm not getting the green apple, but I'm getting a little bit of the lighter citrus notes, maybe a little bit of lemon even, getting a little bit of orange. I get a little bit of that barley sweetness, which is new to me on these heavy sherried whiskeys, because I usually find the sherry overpowers that kind of barley sweetness. And a little bit of that floral, a little bit of drawing oak tannins on the end, but not much at all. That's really, really nice. That is, I feel like this might even be a little better than my palate. I'm going to enjoy trying. I think this could be a really good lesson for me, or a teaching whiskey where, again, I don't want to, I'm not denigrating the Aberlour A'Bunadh because I'm going to taste it right now, but I feel like this just has a lot more inputs and influences on my tongue and my brain. It's not just like, boom, jumping down the rabbit hole of this giant kind of spicy sherry bomb. That's really fascinating. All right, let's try the Aballour. So the nose, yeah, again, it smells delicious. It's Christmas cake. It's all those heavy sherry notes that you want. A little bit of tannin, bourbon, or a little bit of oak, I should say. That's really nice. That's actually sweeter, I think. It's oaky. Again, there's a huge bourbon, American bourbon flavor influence on the back of this. It still tastes like single malt scotch, but man, those bourbon flavors are really shining through. The Christmas cake and the kind of the fudgy notes and cinnamon. That's a lovely dram. As I just said earlier, that's my third bottle. I have no problem enjoying that any night. This, maybe because it's new to me. Wow, the floral notes really jumping out right now. Flowery vanilla. That's really fascinating. I didn't know you get this stuff out of these heavy sherried batch strength whiskeys. Some pretty impressive subtleties going on. Well, that's lovely. They're both lovely. That's particularly lovely. So I think I mentioned price. Yeah, this was about $100. I bought it overseas. So you can do the math with adding and subtracting friggin' shipping and blah, blah, blah. But I think most of the ones that I've looked at that I'm going to kind of review moving forward are all in that kind of $100 price point. So as you know, prices vary everywhere. So you have to look those up. This takes the cake. This is, I'm going to call this right now, and we're only two deep, but I'm going to use this as my new measuring stick, so to speak, or my new control. So I think next round, I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I think I'm going to compare it to the Tamdhu Batch strength. So we're going to kick the Aballour out, and I'm going to compare it against the Tamdhu next time. This is a hell of a bottle. If you can find it, this is batch 4, like I said, from what the minimal research I've done, I heard this might be one of the weaker versions. If this is the weaker version, then I got to get my hands on batch 5 for sure, because this is pretty enjoyable, and it's certainly brought some different nuances that I haven't found as of yet that I can remember in these types of heavily sherried and very strong whiskeys. So that being said, we got 2 great whiskeys. I'm going to drink both of them and probably something else a little bit later. Thanks for watching. If you liked it and you thought it was entertaining or informative, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be cool too. Yeah, stick around next time, and we'll see what Tamdhu is going to go up against. Cheers.